Okay, not only attacked D. Smith and NFLPA, also attacked other coaches and other things that was going on in the National Football League.
So, and I'm not condoning any of that, but those were private emails. I mean, I can't get into that. I understand. I'm not condoning it at all. You and I, once again, Key, are on the same page.
You can't tell me 1 minute, Jay, you're not condoning it.
I'm not.
Still
Hold
trying
on, guys.
to explain
Key, don't even,
me.
when you go into that, though, you're falling into the whataboutism trap. This is what people do.
What about what?
This is what people do. When some bad piece of behavior or someone does something wrong and people say, okay, they should be sanctioned in some way. This happens in our politics all the time. You get what about? Whataboutism. What about the other side? They point and they say, what about that? And you have to keep the same standard. They're different situations.
But I'm going to get there, though, Max. That's what I was getting to. A young man said that Deshaun's situation was, he's playing, well, why can't Gruden coach? Different situations, different organizations. When you look at the National Football League and Roger Goodell, he went after them. He went after the owners that employed him for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right.
That gave him the Ring of Honor. So if you look at it from that standpoint, there's no way you think that, especially in the National Football League, that 32 owners, or maybe 30, will be probably like 30 now, 30 owners or something, would want to bring him in and deal with the same situation.
Nick in Louisiana, you're on with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
What's happening?
What's up, baby?
I ain't that much, just driving across this country. First, I want to say I appreciate you guys getting me through the morning, Monday through Friday. But as far as the Jon Gruden goes, does he deserve another chance? Probably not. Will he get one? Probably so. But it would help if he would drop the lawsuit. I think it would help if he dropped the lawsuit because it's like you're contradicting yourself. You want to file a lawsuit against the NFL for what happened, but then you want another shot. I mean, make that make sense.
Suing your potential employer.
I think he could potentially.
It is fascinating, Key, though, that a lot of stuff from Jon Gruden's emails would leak, but we haven't seen things from other investigations leak. I'm just posing the question.
I can't get into that. I can only get into what's leaked.
Why not?
I can't.
Is that not fascinating?
That's essentially the basis of his suit is that he's been singled out.
The reason I can't get into that, because I ain't seen them. I don't know what the other emails are.
Well,
I know what these emails are.
I agree with you.
I don't know what the other emails say from whoever, from Daniel Snyder, from the Washington Commanders, from whoever it was on those email chains. I have no idea. But I do know what these emails say. That's all I'm saying.
I was just talking, that's why there was a legal suit.
Well, no, of course
yes.
He's going to defend himself as he should. I think, as I said before, everybody deserves a second shot at something in life in general. That's why we are the greatest country in the world, because we do give people opportunities and chances. That's why everybody want to be here. In the end, when you look at it, though, the NFL owners is different than college. College may be more suitable and tolerable, depending on where you're at, where in the National Football League, there's only 32 owners, okay? And out of those 32 owners, they are pretty – they argue and bicker, but they pretty tight when it comes down to certain things. And that's why I don't see in the National Football League that door opening for him.
Well, I mean, also his track record, especially in recent years, none of their draft picks pan out. The team won very good. They don't have a lot of draft capital. Like he really did a subpar job, and he had a huge guaranteed contract, and it was for many, many years, and he had a lot of runway, and he wasn't getting the job done, right? So if it was Bill Belichick or someone, or I don't want to even put his name in it, but if there was someone with that kind of track record, then there'd be much more interest in rehiring. Like, here's the thing about Deshaun Watson.
Conversation.
When the guy brings up, well, what about Deshaun Watson? Deshaun Watson's play on the field, like if we start with the premise, people don't really care who watch football about ancillary stuff. They care about football. Well, that's why Deshaun Watson gets $230 million guaranteed. The reason Jon Gruden may not get another job ultimately in the NFL is he's not that good.
Well,
that's the problem.
Are we talking about head coaching job, or are we talking about
head coaching job?
Assistant
head coaching
job, a coordinator?
Head coaching job. The point is, once you've done all this, your talent has to make it worth it for a team to get in a bed with you, right? So, Key, everything you're saying, I hear you. But if he was a great, great coach and he was always making Super Bowl runs, some team probably would roll the dice.
But that's a different conversation again, Max. If you look, you're 100% right. We've had people in this league that have committed certain crimes that they were really good. So guess what? They got a shot to play, correct?
Right.
I mean, they because they're good. He ain't been good at coaching. Outside of our Super Bowl win, what has he done?
With Tony Dungy's team, largely.
So
Jay in Miami.
Like,
Jay wants to weigh in. Go ahead, Jay.
I appreciate it, guys, man. It's pretty ironic, in terms of, we're talking about Gruden, all the things that he's done, whether it's misogynistic, homophobic, racism, sexism. This nation elected a president that pretty much has that same track record. But on to Gruden, rather. Here's my thing. I think the guy deserves the opportunity because at the end of the day, nobody has demonstrated to me that his actions matches his words. Because a lot of times we could be around people, and I've been around people to say things about other people, but when I see their actions, it's totally opposite of what they really do or believe about other people.
That's an interesting point.
No one is coming forward and saying this guy has done or demonstrated any of his bad behavior that he supposedly has demonstrated. So to me, everybody's caught up in the emotional aspect of what these emails are saying, but nobody's demonstrating case history where he was discriminatory towards gays or he was discriminatory towards blacks. It's the media creation in my mind.
Jay, I think that's a great point. So let me ask, Key, you have the most experience with Jon Gruden. Like, do the words match his actions?
Look, here, as I said before, when this all went down several months ago, I've never, ever seen Jon Gruden say disparaging things like that to anyone. I've never seen him use the N-word. I've never seen him say homophobic things to anybody. I've never seen him do nothing even remotely close to that. But it's in the emails, and the emails lead back to him. It's just like anything. Me, I'm a huge ID network guy, right? So just because I didn't see the person commit the murder don't mean he didn't do it.
Right. But I'll say, I think it is an interesting point that Jay just made, and we have our guy waiting to talk to jump in on this and other things too. But it is an interesting point he made. You are defined by your behavior, not your thoughts, and it is an interesting point. I think, at least, whether or not you agree with it, I think it's interesting that people can say things, especially in the heat of the moment, or they're angry, or they're reflecting values that they grew up with, whatever, but that's not the way they behave. And I agree also that the way people behave is more important to me than anything, although you could also argue that when one person in a position of power is emailing another person in a position of power, and they both fit into certain categories, and they are throwing, those kind of words around about people who don't fit into that categories, maybe that is actually a piece of behavior. But Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max is presented by Progressive Insurance, a triple threat of protection with home, auto, and more. Visit Progressive.com. David Kaplan, host of Cap and J Hood on ESPN 1000, going to get in on this and then